Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the channel. I want to first start off by saying I apologize for kind of how I acted on the last video on Saturday. It's pretty childlike and just didn't show a lot of couth on my part. So yeah, I do want to apologize. Very, very unprofessional on my part. You know, one of you guys pointed out that there is good people in the world, and you are very, very right. There is a lot of good people in the world, and I shouldn't let one person's actions spoil it for all of you guys that are, you know, here to watch my videos, and I want to apologize to each and every one of you for that. I guess what irritated me the most was, and you guys that have Facebook and Messenger will attest to this, when you send a message, it'll have the open bubble with the check mark, it'll be sent, and then it'll have a solid bubble with a check mark, which means delivered, and then it'll have their little icon, whatever their Facebook, you know, whatever they choose, beside that message saying, you know, that indicates that they've read that. I sent this guy multiple messages, and he read the messages that I could see, and he didn't bother to answer them, is what I guess irritated me the most. I did finally receive a message from him about 2:15 in the morning, and he apologized and said, sorry, I've been at the hospital all day with my dad and back early again in the morning. So I hope everything is well with his dad. I really do. I hope he's just not blowing smoke. But I guess my thing is, if you got time to read that message, you have time to respond and say, hey man, sorry, it's not gonna work out. End of story. Anyway, moving on. What I wanna do, and what I'm wanting to do, you can see I still have everything off the front of my truck. Got the headliner out of the caddy. I have everything out of my truck. This actually needs to go upstairs. These headliner pans are very, very hard to come by. No, we're not going to use it, but I don't want it ruined either. Anyway, I have the front bumper off with the cubes. There's the wiring harness for the cubes, and the grill is in the house because I needed to do a couple of things to it. All right, this is where I'm going to ask your guys' opinion. What my plan was is I think I want to switch my truck over to the new style sport front end, meaning it's the plastic cover over an inner shell or inner bumper brace or inner bumper support, basically. The new style sport. That's what I'm thinking. That's what the facelift was going to be. What do you guys think would be cooler? Was kind of over the whole 4th gen thing. A lot of people jumped on that bandwagon, and a lot of people are doing it. Now, don't get me wrong, I still think it looks pretty cool, but I don't know, I was kind of over it. I've been seeing a lot of trucks, second gens with the sport front end, and I really, really like them, and I think they look pretty cool. But, you know, I'm not opposed to having the 4th gen bumper on there. You know, we would talk before. Now I got that stuff in the way. About cutting these top edges off right here and making that flat all the way across, and then raising this bumper up to the bottom of the headlights. That's just one thing I was thinking about, and then picking up a sport grill and making everything kind of good that way. Color matching it. You know, I think that would probably still look pretty good, but the more and more I look at the sports, and I'm going to put a photo up because I did actually find a sport, the same color as my truck and everything. The only thing that's different is the wheels. I'll put that picture up, and you guys can kind of look at that and get an idea. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys might like to see, and we'll kind of go from there. You know, like I said, I'm leaning more towards swapping it over to a sport, and that's what the whole facelift thing was going to be. And I wanted to take you guys along for the ride, to go pick up the parts, to basically showing you everything and kind of revealing it to you, and then surprising you with that. But it kind of, like I said last time, went to hell in a handbasket. Anyway, moving on. Just let me know. Hit me up in the comment section what you might like to see. Keep the sport bumper on there, color match it, or move on to a sport front end. Me personally, I'm leaning more towards the sport front end, but don't let my opinion sway yours at all. Let me know what you guys like. And like I said, you know, look at that picture I just posted and let me know what you think. So anyway, moving on. Drove the Caddy to work today. Did pretty good running down the road. I'm starting to have a little bit of an issue with the, I think it's actually the pump sticking, because the throttle cable is all free and the pedal's free. I did find when I did take the cable off and lube it, just like on a dirt bike brake or a dirt bike clutch. Some of the orders, it's a cable. This is a cable also. You have to lube those cables up, keep them nice and free, make sure there's no frayed sections of that cable. Mine, I took it off. Everything works really, really well, and I did lube it up. This little clip comes off of here. I can take the cable up. I pulled it out of this bracket, and then I just tipped it up on edge, and I just started spraying lube down in the cable and started working it back and forth. But I did find, and that's where this little piece, I had two of these, comes into play. Down here, gonna need a light. Where the throttle cable attaches to the pedal, somebody had just taken, hopefully you can see that. Maybe, I don't know. Right up here, somebody had just taken that cable, it's kind of shaped like a 7 really, and just put it through this little steel loop right here. That fell out of that steel loop when I was working that cable back and forth and getting that, I used Crown, basically it's penetrant, like WD-40 or something like that on the cable. And you can see there's a little button right here on the end. And what I did with this is just some rubber stoppers that I had in my drawer up there. I made that hole just a little bit bigger, and then it was the same diameter as the inside diameter is this hoop on top of the pedal, and I just shoved that in there and was able to shove this little head through, and that just keeps everything in place. So I thought that was kind of ingenious that everything just kind of worked out that way. I always save little stuff like this just for those purposes, and I remembered I had them in there, and everything just kind of worked out for me, and I was pretty happy with that. So I had that taken care of, but I have not messed with any of these pumps, so I'm not certain on how a lot of this stuff works, because this is all mechanical. You know, as I give it throttle, this piece here is not returning, so I don't know if that's where my sticky pedal's coming from. I'm not certain, so I'm gonna loosen this top nut up and see if I can put another round in this spring to get that to return back to rest where it's supposed to be. Or I don't know if that's rest. That's pretty free moving, just with your fingers. It doesn't return wherever it's supposed to return. So I'm going to venture to say, because if I put tension on this spring, that'll take this arm and move it this way. So I'm going to venture to say it's supposed to be over like that, but I'm not certain. I probably should, before I go do a bunch of screwing around, I probably should go in and get my my diesel manual for these trucks here and figure out where it's actually supposed to be. So anyway, I think I'll go grab one of those books and do a little reading and be back in a minute. Alright, so reading the book did absolutely nothing for me. Basically all it said was pump install, injection timing, told me some troubleshooting and stuff like that. It did say something about a dirty air filter, so I had a new air filter laying over there that came with the truck. This was the old one that was in it, so I went ahead and popped that new air filter in, and we'll see what happens. I've been in there for probably about, I would say give or take, an hour or so. And so the engine's had time just to cool down just a little bit. And one thing I did notice that it may be something to do with as the engine is warm, something inside that injection pump is sticking, because I did spray all the springs and everything down. I did spray those down with some carburetor cleaner and clean everything up, and everything's moving nice and free now. So I'm just gonna have to do some more homework, look at some forums, or if any of you guys know that, you know, has picked up on a channel, on some of you guys, some of you Volkswagen enthusiasts, if you guys have found my channel and know anything about these older pumps, please feel free to hit me up in the comment section and let me know. The issue that I'm having is a sticky pump. Basically, something inside the pump is sticking, because the arm does return, but somewhere, someplace inside that pump, there is fuel still getting to the cylinders. So anyway, I'm gonna have to do some more research. I forgot to mention the other day on Saturday, my strut cups did come. These are from, just look at that construction, man. I tell you what, these are from Fast Bunny, and these are a phenomenal looking product. I had him send them to me raw, so you guys could see how well a product he does make. This is a Canadian-based company again. It is Fast Bunny Metalworks. I will have his information in the description below. It also does come with some new bearings. These are, I believe, the Audi A2. These will go up inside there and sit just like that, and then the spring perches will sit right on there. There is one piece out of here that I guess that I do need. There's a little bushing in there, so I'm gonna have to disassemble these struts to get those out, and we'll go from there. Anyway, tires and wheels were a bust on this. I don't know if I mentioned it last time. The gentleman wouldn't come down $25. If I didn't mention it, or if I did mention it, or maybe I've told this story. Anyway, I found a set of tires and wheels just south of me in Troy, Ohio. And they're pretty nice, kind of what we wanted. And he wanted $225 for them. They were on a Honda Civic. That Civic had been involved in an accident, and one wheel was damaged. Now, you know, that $25 could go either way, but I wanted it to go in my favor. The wheel had to be replaced. There, I did find them exactly what I needed. They were new on Amazon for $127 a piece. And he wasn't 100% certain if I would be able to use the tire that was on there. So, you know, that would be another 80 bucks for tires. I'm in it for roughly $450-ish. So, I mean, at that point, I might as well find something else if he's not going to come down to what I want to pay. So, anyway, that's just kind of where we're at. One other thing to mention, if any of you guys are interested in trading a sport front end for a 4th gen front end, hit me up in the comment section, or right here's my Instagram. Find me on Instagram, follow and message, and maybe we could work something out. You got to be, you know, within an hour from me, or a couple hours that we could meet, you know, an hour in the middle there, so close to the Lima, Ohio area. So just food for thought for any of you guys also. Always the first description in, oh Jesus, I'll tell you what, always the first link in the description. Hot Shot Secrets, coupon code CM73. Right now it's still for anti-gel. Going to get that changed to everyday diesel, and spring is here, so we need to think warm thoughts. Anyway, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already done so, and we'll talk to you later on. Bye-bye.